Hello, my beautiful people. It's Lena. I'm back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here we are. And just like that, season 2, episode 9. Do you remember last episode where Carrie was heading her way out the door of her apartment and she was going to go see Aidan at his beautiful Virginia farmhouse? Well, we open up this wonderful episode where this beautiful farmhouse is coming up. We get to see the chickens and all the eggs and all the farm animals. We get to meet the kids. We get to hear how he built this home from scratch. You saw that? You know, it was beautifully nestled in the middle of nowhere because this never happened. Nothing. No farm. No eggs. No flightless chicken birds flying. Nothing. We open up this episode and all of a sudden all of that is gone. Carrie's in her bed in the Airbnb from Chase, waiting for Aidan to come through the door. And apparently it's maybe a week later. So we never got to see who came first, the chicken or the egg or the farm or the water or the house or the door, nothing. It got me all psyched up to go see this Virginia home and we don't even get a picture of it. Not even a storyline that even shows Carrie showing her friends how beautiful this whole thing was. Nothing. So that whole episode of last week, done. Don't think we're ever going to see that chicken or the egg or how it lays an egg in anybody's bed. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So let's start with that. Welcome to my rave review. And not a rave like a good one. Here we go. We're going to do it in the same way I've done it before, where I'm going to try to put the 3 women that we have learned to loathe from the original series together and their own story arcs. And then we're going to put in the honorable mentions, which, by the way, has a lot more honorable mentions this episode than usual, which just means that there's more fluff and stuff in this episode than needed. Scene open. Carrie on her bed in the Airbnb that she's renting from Che. She's reading a book. Aidan comes in. Apparently, it's been a week since he's seen her. I'm still fuzzy on the timeline of when she went to Virginia. I'm not sure if this is 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a year. I couldn't tell you. Again, I'm aging as this show goes because if I were to follow this timeline, like I said before, I would have had at least 2 birthdays. So he comes in and he is talking to her about his flight and that, you know, his sons loved her when they met. I wouldn't know. We didn't see it, but we did see one of them because he had to call his middle child and let him know that he landed because apparently the middle child has an issue with planes. I have a problem with this. Not with the child. Not with Aidan calling. Clearly the child did not like Carrie. He gave her a look. He hung up on his father after he said he should have called me after he landed because he traced the plane. There's like a running theme in this episode that I can't shake for some reason, and I wouldn't put it past the showrunners. I feel like they're going to kill Aidan off. I can't explain it. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised because this is the first one that says something about planes. Okay. The son apparently doesn't like her. Wyatt, which is the middle child, the 14-year-old. Aidan proceeds to tell Carrie that he talks to the people in the lobby. She freaks out because he's not supposed to speak. They're supposed to be invisible. Again, Aidan should know this. They've been doing this for at least, I'm going to say 45 years in that building. I mean, that's just the way the timeline goes in the story. So it could be easily 50 for all I know. So he's all happy because the security guard gave him a salute and he is a big tipper and Carrie freaks out. We're supposed to be invisible. So Aidan proceeds to go take a shower or going to go take a shower and Carrie goes into the kitchen and then there's someone banging on the door like it's like the last day of the earth. Aidan, now, in case you didn't know this, and if you wanted more of Aidan, well, you asked for it. because we now are for sure Aidan is back, and we are getting a lot of more Aidan in this episode. Back to the tidy whities. That's a lot of Aidan. I couldn't even, I wasn't even sure what I was looking at. I was like, do I turn my eyes? Do I look? What is happening? Like, it was very uncomfortable. One, not because of his age and because of whatever, because we got to see Aidan from the front. We got to see him from the back. We got to see him kneeling down on the side and coming back at you. So I'm just not a fan of tidy whities on any age. I didn't like it when they were wearing them in the original series. I didn't think it's cute. I think a man is much sexier in the boxer briefs. Just my preference. Listen, John Corbett is 62 years old. I mean, this is something that he's going to have on the internets for the rest of his life now. This is it. I mean, he had the original one, so why not bookend it and put it in this series too? I wonder what it was like to film that, because it just was very, very jarring for me. So the person that's knocking on the door is building management, and Aidan comes out, briefed down, and he goes to pick up the piece of letter that was shoved under the door, because they're both playing as if no one's in the apartment. Aidan reads it and says that their 30-day stay has been over 30 days and they need to leave. Okay. Carrie tells Aidan, hey, we don't have a place to stay. Would you consider coming to my place? And he is still adamant that he is not stepping foot in that apartment. He don't care if the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse comes and brings down the door and brings them out, boxer briefs or whatever. He is not going into that apartment. Well, that's the end of that scene. That's a whole lot of Aidan. So Carrie has decided that she wants to sell her jewel box, as she calls it, her apartment. She tells Seema. Seema shows her a beautiful home in Gramercy Park, which is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. She's doing this because she feels that she's been holding on to her jewel box for way too long, and that it's time for her to move on. And she puts an offer in the house at Gramercy Park. I have to tell you, I saw this episode a couple of times, and I was looking at how they were doing the whole Gramercy Park thing, and that whole set looked really, really fake to me, because I've been to Gramercy Park, and though they did a relatively okay job, but that whole set just looked fake. Okay. So when she is looking at the apartment, she brings in both Miranda and Charlotte, so they can tour the house or the mansion or whatever the hell you want to call it, and give her their opinion of she should put an offer. I'm just curious of these 2 ladies. So Charlotte walks in, and she walks in looking like an Oscar de la Renta couch with that ridiculous dress with the big poofy sleeves. Not flattering at all. Miranda has had 4 outfit changes in this entire episode, with purses and shoes to go with it. I say this because when I get to the story arc of the 2 other ding-dongs, you're going to understand why I'm going to come back in reference to this, okay? So Carrie announces that she's going to sell her house, her apartment. She's very sure. She's sure about the whole situation. Believe it or not, they didn't actually give her too much. They actually said, oh, go ahead, take it. The phone rings, and she thinks it's Samantha 2.0. Lo and behold, it's actually Aidan's ex-wife, Kathy, who she also met in whatever time she met her, when she was up there in the phantom zone of the farmhouse. That's all I can tell you. Kathy wants to meet Carrie for lunch when she's in the city the following week. That sometimes just comes in and when it's appropriate. No red flags there. At first, I didn't really think much of it. I did find it strange. She meets with her at a cafe shop. Kathy proceeds to tell her that she does not want Carrie to write about her kids in any way in any of her books or anything. Which, by the way, I was like, oh, okay, this is reasonable. I would do that too if I was a mom. You know, I would actually meet the person in front and just make sure that they look in my eyes and know I'm not kidding. I'm really serious. Don't do that. You know, so I was like, okay. I can deal with that. That's good. Okay. Then she proceeds to tell her that she knows about the relationship that she had with Aidan. And I was like, here we go. The real reason why she's here. She tells her, you can't hurt Aidan again. Translation, bitch, you're the reason why my marriage didn't work in the first place. So back it up. Because when you do mess up, I'll be here for him again. Because that's what she was really trying to tell her. That's BS. Why would you go and tell the next one about your ex-husband, please don't hurt him again? What's the reason for what? Why? We don't do that. We don't do that unless there's an ulterior motive. And the ulterior motive is to say exactly what I said. Translation, I don't like you. And when you fail, get to stepping. Okay. Carrie's like, oh yes, I won't put your kids in the book. Oh yes, and I'm very well aware of my relationship with Aidan. And then she ends it off, Kathy ends it off, because, you know, it's not just Aidan, it's my boys too. No, it's not. Those kids don't give a flying rat's ass. They'll be just fine. First of all, they're boys. If they're not looking at playing outside or playing on the TV or playing around, they're not paying attention to any of this nonsense. Stop playing. Don't use your kids. Okay? Maybe a daughter would be that way. Maybe, and I'm pushing it. But at that point, they're teenagers. One of them is 20 years old. Like, they don't care. Stop lying. So, Carrie decides to make the offer. How does she do this? Because she goes back to her... Oh, wait. I'm sorry, guys. Literally, this show has so many scene cuts from person to person to person. If I were to try to do it in that format, I will go back crap crazy. I have to group these people together because that is how I see it in my head, because I can't follow this. The way they edit, it's like you're left with your mouth hanging, or their mouths, or words falling out of the next scene, then the other one starts, and the next scene. And that's if you're lucky, because sometimes they're all in the scene together and none of them are speaking to each other, but they're all having a conversation. So I'm sorry, bear with me if I have to backtrack a little bit, okay? Because this, before she decides to take the make the offer, this is the scene that made me realize that there's two different showrunner versions that are happening on this show. There's two groups of, or 4 or 10 different people writing, and they forget what they say in the next episode or the prior episode, and they're just, or the paper fell and they've just bundled it up and they all say, okay, this looks right, and they go ahead and they do the scene, because I don't understand what's going on here. Carrie is at this party being thrown by Charlotte and Harry for Lisa and her husband, because he wants to be city controller. She bumps into the man that hired Charlotte for the museum. He's asking her during this party, apparently he's attracted to her, or he's flirting with her, or whatever the hell he's trying to do. He's asking her about her life and what about her marriage. Is it as awful as his next 3 divorces, or his 3 divorces, or some fluff and stuff conversation. And this is when I say that the other version of Carrie, because apparently there's several multi-versions of her, she tells him that she had a wonderful marriage. to a wonderful man that ended too soon. Bye, and walks away. What? Did you take your medications today, or were you on your medications the last episode when you told Miranda that you thought big might be a big mistake? Well, who are you? And stick to one medication. Like, stop. Like, I just sat there. I'm like, why would you? What? So now he's great. Like, oh, you're just saying this because this old man is trying to hit on you? I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you what this is. Okay. Then she goes to try to go back to her apartment, and she runs into her downstairs neighbor who she broke and entered into last season for no reason other than that she could. That was weird. This girl comes out and starts saying that she's going to be thrown out by the guys that are leasing or subleasing the apartment. And this is really the only time that we see her, because I haven't seen her this whole season. So she tells her that she doesn't want to leave and that she can't imagine anybody wanting to leave this beautiful place. And of course, you know where this is going. Carrie's like, I do. And then she calls Samantha 2.0 and tells her, I want to make an offer and sell the house. Okay. All the while that she's already shown the apartment to Aidan. And Aidan kind of tells her, why are you doing this? You don't have to do this. And she just wants to make him happy. And he's like, but I am happy. You don't have to go all the way and sell your other apartment for me. And I'm like, why are the writers writing her this way? She always has to make somebody happy. Like, are you happy? I guess she is, because she thinks she's not alone. I don't know. It's weird. And then he kind of says something that draws me back to this whole plane and airplane thing, and where I think that they may just kill this man off. He says, life is too short and you ought to be happy. And I'm like, okay, hint number 2. Are they going to kill him off? I wouldn't put it past them. Maybe that's how Samantha comes and does her cameo. She calls to condole her. I don't know. They give each other this fake kiss. And then, you know, she puts an offer on the house. I don't know where this is going next episode. I don't think the next episode is actually the last episode. I kind of heard somewhere that there might be another episode, like 11. So if this is 9, the next one is 10. So, oh my God, we got to go through this again. I just don't see how they're going to finish this, because they have so many people in this episode that how they're going to stuff this into a pack next episode. I'm just very confused. Ding dong number 2 and 3, Charlotte and Miranda. There is no real story arc for these two ladies. There's just lines and confusion. I'm going to start with my confusion part of it. Miranda has a huge wardrobe with purses, shoes, outfits, jackets, everything. Yet, she is staying in the pseudo 2-bedroom apartment of the professor that has her bathroom in the professor's bedroom. And when I say pseudo 2-bedroom, the shack that Miranda is staying in could only fit a twin-size bed. Now, Miranda could afford to be volunteering. And when I say that, I don't mean it as an oxymoron. I really mean, if you could afford to be a volunteer, why are you not renting your own place, Miranda? And where the hell are all these clothes being put? Because this apartment is not that big, and you have a shack with a twin bed. I don't understand. Do they not think that I'm not noticing this? Because I am. I know a lot of people are. I'm like, every time, every scene she either has, and it's like she's all decked out. It's not like someone that's like pulling out stuff from their under their bed. I don't even know. Have you seen the room? It's so small. I'm like, and she's always pressed. She's always wearing something. I'm like, girl, get out of that place. Why are you there? To boot, the professor apparently found her Gilligan on Tinder, and she's getting it on. And these are the only two prevalent scenes that we have of her, because we didn't even see her last episode. So in this episode, apparently she's getting onto Tinder now, and she found her Gilligan, and they're getting it on. She's not trying to hide it. She's screaming like a banshee while Miranda is trying to get some sleep the first time. The second time, Miranda is trying to get to the one bathroom that's in the professor's bedroom, and as she's approaching the door, the professor is getting her morning shift of Gilligan, and again, screaming like a banshee, and Miranda gets pissed off. I don't know what she does, because let me tell you something, that's my biggest fear, not being able to get to a bathroom. Like, that is crazy to me. But she doesn't have to be there. You have money. Go find a place. Anything. Like, they're literally keeping this whole connection to the professor to keep the professor in there. Just to show us that the professor, as she's getting her Gilligan on, okay, all of a sudden starts looking through her Instagram and finds that her ex-husband is with I think the girl that was in the beginning of the story in the room with him with a hat. She's pregnant, and she gets upset or sad. I really don't have any connection to these characters in that way at all. Like, sure, that seems bad, but I only got to see you and your husband, what, 2 times in the entire 2 seasons? And both times you were bitching at each other? I don't understand. And all of a sudden now you're having sex with this, surfer, Gilligan kid that you found on Tinder? And this is literally put into the series for no other reason than they don't have enough story to tell about the girls, 3 ladies? I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do with this, but I could not care less. Could not care less. But that scene of her having sex in the morning where Miranda is unable to get into the bedroom leads into the Miranda slash, oh my gosh, Charlotte story. I almost forgot her name because she's forgettable at this point. Miranda is concerned about Brady not wanting to go to college, and he's working at Scout, her I don't know, husband or ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband's bar. You know that, right? Named after the dog, not Miranda. So she asked Charlotte to have Lily speak to him to try to convince him to go to college, because that always works in every time, none ever. Charlotte has to ask Lily to please go spend the night in Charlotte's Brooklyn home and talk to him, and she's like, yeah, that's not gonna work, but sure, I'll try it. Okay. When Miranda can't use the bathroom at the professor's home, she goes back to her Brooklyn apartment to shower up, and as she's going into the bathroom, Lily is coming out of Brady's room with a t-shirt on, no pants, and it looks like they got it on. Okay. And they go, eek, and door closes, and now Miranda's calling, Charlotte and saying that she believes that they hooked up. And this is how the two of them have the story tied together, because they're really not, it's not a separate arc, because you don't really see Miranda going to her volunteer job. You don't see her trying to find an apartment. You don't see her talking to her ex-husband. And Che is doing something completely different that is not even conversating with her. So what's left? Sure, the two of them. We have to stick them together because what else are we going to give them to do? So she's calling Charlotte saying that she believed they hooked up. Charlotte's in shock. Then they're both speaking together at, I guess, what you call lunch, though I don't know who works in this series. None of them do. Because being a dossier or ballerina or whatever the hell Charlotte is, does not work. I mean, you're doing something, but you know what I'm talking about. That's your choice. Another one, volunteering. They're, I guess, going to a place that appears to be like Chipotle, and they're both speaking openly, saying that, you know, I don't believe it, I can't believe it, they're going to be hooked up, and Miranda's like, well, believe it. All in front of the counter kid, serving her, both of them, food. And then Charlotte's last line is, well, I wanted her to rub off on him. And the poor kid looks at them and says, next? I'm like, sure. Again, unnecessary conversation. Only because the next scenes with them, it's the two of them trying to figure out at the party again that Harry's throwing for Lisa's husband, which I don't know when he became his campaign manager at any given point or time. I don't remember that. And maybe they did say it, but because half the time I'm not paying attention to this damn show, I missed it. I don't know. Charlotte and Miranda are looking at Brady and Lily because Brady decided to come to the party. And they're both huddled in a corner talking. It doesn't seem disgusting. I mean, maybe they hooked up, maybe they didn't. I don't know. These crazy kids these days, who the hell knows what happened? And literally Charlotte and Miranda are looking at them trying to figure out if they hooked up or not. Because when you're standing in the corner, the big red sign falls down and said, "We hooked up" sign apparently comes on. That's the new thing, right? This is how stupid this storyline is. And then they get caught watching them, and then they leave the room. And then the next scene is the both of them trying to figure out if Brady and Lily are in a bedroom. And they're both speaking to each other. Oh, I don't want to go in. What are they hooking up? And I'm just watching this. I'm like, why would you go in there? And Charlotte decides to open the door, and they're not in there. And then Brady and Lily come in. They bought pizza because they didn't like the food. And then the last conversation they have together is Charlotte tells Miranda that she doesn't want to know if they're having sex because her mom didn't know about all the sex that she had and she turned out okay. That was exhausting. And that was it. And then Miranda's like, yeah, I can understand that. I'm like, what was the point of the story? So they hooked up, they didn't hook up. So where we're going with this? So Miranda is still homeless, yet fashionably homeless. Charlotte is going back crap crazy in her own little dimension, because when she realizes that this is potentially a hookup, she's in the bedroom with Harry, who, by the way, we go again, that people on this show have conversations, but they don't speak to each other. They speak this way, not this way. Charlotte went from discovery of the possibility, freaking out about the possibility, saying that if they break up, she's going to have to take Lily's side unless they get married, in turn, in which that they will have beautiful Chinese, red-headed Jewish children, to having Miranda as Lily's mother-in-law, that it will be impossible for her to be the mother-in-law unless Lily becomes closer to Miranda, which in turn will make Charlotte the bad person. In 8 seconds. All the while, Harry's on the bed freaking out about this freaking campaign party and the party favors and the food and the coat rack. And he's like, if he heard her, but out of two of these conversations, it was nothing. This girl flipped in so many ways in this whole storyline. She's got them married. She's got them Jewish redheaded Chinese babies. She's got them not liking Miranda, not liking her, breaking up. Like, I was like, wow. That's why this was hard to group together as story arcs, because it was just really all over the place. Like, I couldn't even, it took me a while to follow it. I'm like, okay, she's gotta slow down a little bit. Like, can we at least verify that they had sex? My God, she's got them walking down the aisle already. So that's the pocket dimension that Charlotte was in, while, you know, the pocket dimension that Miranda was in was trying to figure out how to use the bathroom until they coalesced together, the both dimensions, and they were talking to each other. Just as a footnote, this whole time, you know, Charlotte is going through her little pocket dimension drama. Harry's upset because he thinks that the guy that hired her, I'm going to call him museum man, has a crush on her, and that, you know, he's jealous. And really, that's not what it is at all. Let's go to translation. Harry's pissed off because Charlotte's not home anymore and he's got to take care of shit. You didn't think I didn't see that? You really think that her husband believes that this man is trying to flirt with Charlotte? No. He's just using that as the catalyst to make her want to come back home and be a mom, so he doesn't have to do it. Isn't that how most marriages work? You lie, I pretend, we go back and forth, and then we go to bed. None the wiser, none the happier, none the more upset. We just accept a lie. That's how a working relationship goes. Like, you have to read in between the lines. Right? Right? Pocket dimension ding dong number 1. Pocket dimension ding dong number 2. Let's push them out to the side and go down to the honorable mentions, because, ooh, there was some honorable mentions in this series. Oh my God. Samantha 2.0. She is going around showing the Marvel director, we'll call him Mr. Marvel. I'm not going to call him Captain Marvel because he doesn't deserve that title. We don't see her taking him to any of these other apartments. We only found them going to this one major, I guess, large apartment, who the realtor is actually Ryan Serhant from $1 Million New York Listing. I know who he is because I watched the show and I actually do like him. And of course, they added him to the show. Maybe this is the reason why we never got the farmhouse. Maybe the whole money is being spent on, you know, Charlotte's Oscar de la Renta couch dress, Miranda's, you know, purse and shoes and costume changes. And I'm not even going to get into, you know, Carrie. And maybe that's where they're spending the money on these ridiculous cameos. I mean, the guy was funny, actually. He's always been funny. So she's trying to get the attention of Mr. Marvel while Ryan is speaking about the unit or the penthouse, and he's not paying attention because yet again he's on the phone because he's so important. She tells Ryan to leave them alone for a little bit because she wants to talk to him. He gets off the phone and she asks, why are you not liking this apartment? And he says, is this the best that New York can give? And she goes, no. The best was 3 weeks ago, but this is what you have now. Some stupid crap like that with an attitude. I swear to God, her face and everything. Her hair even moved. And he goes off and she calls him, listen, you cut-rate Spielberg. And that's when he gets off his phone and looks at her, you know, because that's hot when you speak to a man like that. She's always got to say something stupid. Like it's not even cute anymore. Cut-rate Spielberg. And this is what turns him on. You know, it's me. No, maybe not, because it's the writers. I'm going to go around saying that to some people. I want to see if I get a man. I want to see if this works. If you're a real man, can you drop a line and tell me if that will work for you? Or do you think that this is all pretend in the writers' heads, that they think that this is the way people speak to each other? I don't know. Are we in school? Is this the girl that likes you and she just like pulls your nose? I don't know. This is like a weird scene because they start talking movie talk to make it sound sexy. He's like, and here's the plot twist. Had I not spent the last 3 weeks with you looking at all these apartments, I would have not had this wonderful time together. Either he's been directing way too long and he thinks that that's hot. Or the writers are already in the strike and these are people ad hocing it. I don't know. But ill. And then she's like, I thought that that's very romantic. I only thought you did action movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to keep up with this bull crap. He goes, you want action? I'll give you action. And then he throws the phone down. He grabs her. And it's the worst Hollywood fake kiss I've ever seen in my life. Where in it, as she drops her purse on the floor, I swear to God, if she would have lifted her back leg, I would have been like, oh, wow. That would have just solidified it for me. I would have like, all right. They're just pulling shit out of their ass now. But they didn't, because the next scene is Ryan, the realtor, coming back asking for Samantha 2.0. And she's up in the bedroom while he's in the bed and they already had sex. We don't know anything about it. We don't see anything. Thank God. She's putting on her clothes. I never do this with a client. Yeah, you did. Stop lying. But that's cute that you're still trying to play innocent at your age. And she's yelling at Mr. Marvel, asking, what should I tell him? And he says, depends if there's going to be a sequel again with the movie talk. Please stop. Stop it. And she's like, get out of bed. And he's like, tell them I'm going to take the apartment. And he lit up a cigar. I'm like, first of all, this is a very expensive apartment. $37,000 a month. Which is probably the going rate in New York. Even if it's a fake one, it's still a lot. Who the hell are you to be smoking a fucking cigar, excuse my language, in anybody's apartment? You haven't even rented it yet. She is running down the stairs with halfway putting on her clothes, but she was able to put her shoes on. Atta girl. She gets to the landing. Ryan is there, and her hair looks like this. And she tells Ryan, oh, he's gonna take the apartment. And the funniest line in this whole thing is, Ryan's like, what is up with the hair? And if you've ever watched him on $1 Million Listing, he's pretty much stayed his own character. That's pretty much how he is. That made me laugh because that was funny. And he's like, yeah, we do what we got to do to close the deal. And that's it. I was like, the best scene was Ryan. Because then, I don't know, there's nothing left to say. I guess Seema's having sex now with her client who smokes a cigar as she smokes a cigarette. I don't know. Again, this is just not needed information or storyline or person on the show. Sorry, I can't unfluff the fluff hair. I look like Chia Pet. Suck it up and deal with it. So, that's it. We have, oh, I'm sorry, Anthony and Bread Boy. He's going to get a big honorable mention. Anthony and Bread Boy are coming home from a date, and Bread Boy wants to go upstairs to Anthony's apartment. Anthony does not want to let him up there. And one of the best lines, I'm actually liking this Bread Boy guy. He's actually very charming. I'm not going to lie to you. I could be desperate for anybody to be anything other than the characters that we have now. That could be it. I could be like losing my mind and thinking this is great. I don't know. You guys tell me if you think he's charming. I don't know. I could be losing it. So he tells Anthony, he calls him Tony, and he doesn't like Tony, but he calls him Tony anyway, because that's how a relationship starts. Doing exactly what your partner doesn't like. He asks Anthony after, oh my God, I already cursed. So, you know, I've tried not to curse. So this is not really a curse, but I'm going to just say it in the way that he says. He asks Anthony, after 5 dates and no dick, that's not very gay. Because apparently they've been out on 5 dates and he's been trying to go upstairs. I would like to get that on a t-shirt, please. Or a bumper sticker. Because that was one of the funniest things I heard. I was like, after 5 dates and no dick, that's not very gay. Yeah, I'm getting a bumper sticker made out of that. For sure. That was great. And, you know, Anthony is under the impression that this poor kid is using him to get a green card. The kid, Bread Boy, says he has dual citizenship, and that is the most hottest thing that Anthony heard, because he believes him now, that he likes him for who he is, which he might. You know, there are people who do that. You know, go out with older men. This kid has to be at least 25 years old. I'm gonna say Anthony is up there with the ladies, like 50. And it makes him very happy. And then they are practically having sex during the party of the campaign for Lisa and her husband. That was quick. Hopefully it's not as quick in bed as this whole story has been quick. Last honorable mention. And it's not, I don't even want to give this any context because it's stupid. Lisa's pregnant. Yeah. Not only is she pregnant, she tells her husband this news right before he's about to give his speech during this campaign. And he is left with his tongue hanging out of his mouth. And we never really get to see anything other than die, because he's so in shock. Now, I thought that this couple was supposed to be the younger version of Charlotte and Harry. I suspected in the last couple of scenes that they're not really younger than them. They're just different versions of them. So apparently the actress that plays Lisa is in her 50s, or she's 50. So I don't know where they're going with this storyline, if she's going to have a pregnancy during this age, if it's going to be a thing. But I can tell you, I do not care. Okay. At all. She could have a litter of babies. I don't care about Lisa. I don't care about the professor. I sure the hell don't care about Che. Who, by the way, in this episode, Che got a box of kittens from a girl that she now is flirting with, and is going to put on a set of comedy because the girl wants to know if she's ever going to do comedy again. And I guess she's over Miranda, and now she's going to be dating again and on this show. Oh my God, please get rid of her. How she's trying to get rid of the box of kittens, and I'm thinking, how do we put you in the box and push you to a shelter somewhere? I don't get it. And I honestly don't understand why Carrie is still friends with this woman. Why? Now, I know logistically why, because they're keeping Che in the show. But for storyline purposes, how is it that Miranda's homeless and she's not staying in Carrie's apartment? How is it that she's going to sell the apartment and doesn't offer the apartment to Miranda to rent it out? Who is the richest hobo shack living woman that I've seen in this entire show. Like, that price would be perfect for her. Now, I suspect that the reason why she's with the professor is because the house is very close proximity to her Brooklyn home. Who cares? Find another place. It's like Carrie and Miranda don't even like have a relationship. Like, they're all having these subplotted relationships. Like, Miranda's still with the professor. Like, when Carrie was looking at that 4-bedroom house, Miranda said she's going to move in there. I'm like, well, you should. Because Carrie can't even keep the freaking house that she has now. You think she's going to need help with this thing? She don't even know where to put her purses and her shoes. She puts them in the oven. She can't handle a 4-bedroom by herself. And she thinks that the kids from Aidan are going to show up. No, they're not. Well, at least in the real world, they could not care less. And I just don't understand the story. Like, this episode was very strange. Carrie's selling her house. I feel like they're going to kill off Aidan. Aidan is showing off his his briefs in the first scene. Kathy, his ex-wife, is telling Carrie, you messed up my marriage, bitch. You have Anthony and Bread Boy getting it on. You have Lisa and her husband, she's now pregnant. You have the professor getting her Gilligan on with a guy in Tinder. You have Miranda, still don't know what she's doing in her life. You have Che chasing people now, or women, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and giving away pets out of veterinarians. You have Charlotte being Charlotte. And if anybody knows the show, you know what I mean. She just goes off the deep end. I don't know what she's doing. Harry is the campaign manager, which I thought he was an attorney, so I don't know what's going on there. And then you have Samantha 2.0 getting on with Mr. Marvel in a rental for $37,000 a month. I didn't see any paperwork being signed, but he's smoking a cigar. And just like that, we have to go through another episode next week. I don't know where they're going with any of this, because now they've put so many open plot twists that I'm like, whoa. And only maybe one I care about. and that one is really pushing it, because that's only Carrie and Aiden. That's only because I care about Aiden. I really don't care about Carrie. So all is well with the world again. Stay tuned for next week, because I'm going to be trying to figure this out too. Now, if you guys watched it and you felt the same way or not the same way, or you're trying to figure it out, drop a comment down below. I do apologize if it is all over the place for some people, because I've had some comments about that. And it's not that it's all over the place, it's that I tried to group the stories in the persons, the three ding-dongs, in their story arcs. This one was very difficult for me. I'm not going to lie to you, so I do apologize. But this show is all over the place as well, because there is no continuity. There's just a scene after scene after scene after person after person. It's like all over the place. So I tried my best. If you have that sense as well that they're planning something big with Aidan, and I guess pun intended, big with Aidan, I don't know, did you get that sense too? I have to tell you, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share, and oh my God, I want to give my heartfelt thanks to every single person that has watched over the last few weeks, has commented, has subscribed, has made comments about I make you laugh. That makes me so happy. You guys have been amazing. I'm actually enjoying this very, very much. It makes my weekend, because I do work during the week, and I look forward to not watching the show, but at least giving you my commentary. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it made you laugh. If it made you confused, well, welcome to my world. This is how I feel. Go watch it. You come back to me and let me know how you feel. Okay? You know that it makes me smile when I make you guys laugh. I hope you're having a blessed Saturday, and I want you all to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you.